erupts all around us, we're greeted with this amazing display of color as the flowers and trees bloom, the bees are buzzing, and the birds are chirping. And best of all, we have new kittens. So I want to tell you a story of something that happened here on our homestead this week. And it was just such a beautiful story and touched my heart so much, so I wanted to share it with you. We have two kitties that have had kittens in the last few weeks. One of them gave birth 2 to 3 weeks ago, and she's an experienced mama. She's an amazing mouser, and her instincts are just right on par. And then we've got another kitty, and she's the sweetest thing. She just loves to snuggle, and she's so good at giving loves, and she's a pretty kitty, and we love having her around. But her instincts are not as good. She's not as good a mouse catcher, and she kind of learns things a little bit slowly. So the experienced mama gave birth a couple weeks ago, and her kittens are doing fabulously. They're big and round and fluffy and fat, and they're just happier than anything, and she loves being a mama. And then a couple days ago, we have our other kitty, who this is her first litter, gave birth to 6 kittens. And it was something where during her pregnancy she would moan and groan, and she'd walk around like it was the end of the world, and she just didn't have a lot of tolerance for it. And very similar to what I remember feeling like when I was pregnant with my first baby. It's just, oh, this is never going to end. And so she went into labor a couple days ago, and just seemed like she didn't really know what to do as a mother. She didn't cut the cord, she didn't clean up the babies, and she kind of almost seemed traumatized at certain parts of the birth experience. And we have both of the cats here on this enclosed porch so that they're nice and warm, and it's a nice place where they've got sun for the kittens, and it's just a happy spot for them to be able to be safe. So on one side, I've got the experienced mama. On the other side, I've got this brand new mama who doesn't know what's going on. And the thing that was so incredible that happened this week is the experienced mama came right over to the new mama, and she just showed her exactly what she needed to do. She helped her clean up the kittens, she got them dried off, and it was so cute. She came over, she licked down the new mama and got her all cleaned off, and she made sure that everybody was really well taken care of, and I've never seen anything like that before. And there was at one point, she would go back and forth between her kittens, and then she'd come check on her sister and see how she was doing, and then she'd go back to her kittens. And there was one point where she came over, and the new mama kitty was, I wouldn't say she was in distress, but she was just kind of a little bit traumatized and just didn't feel like she could go on. She didn't want to birth the last kitten. She'd had 5, and she just didn't want to do anymore. And so I was going to start massaging her tummy, and then the experienced cat came over, and she just started pawing on her tummy. She got her uterus all stimulated, and she just started licking her, and it was like she was just reassuring her, saying, "You can do this, it's okay, you're almost done." And so the new mama gave birth to her last kitten, and again, she still didn't know what to do with them. She just couldn't seem to catch it. And so my experienced kitty came over, and she licked the kitten all up, and she cleaned up the mama, she cut the cord, and made sure everybody was well taken care of. And I was just struck by how important it is, even in nature and with animals, that women are supported. Because I remember being that mama who didn't have a clue. I was scared to death the first time I went into labor. I took classes, but they didn't prepare me. I didn't feel like I was ready for all of that. And it was because of my mother and other women that I knew around me that had given birth, that had been in my shoes. They were able to be there for me, and I had women who were supportive with breastfeeding. And the same thing has happened with these cats. I've been so blown away watching one come over as, basically, stepped in like a midwife would step in. And then some of the kittens were nursing well, but there were a few that weren't nursing well. And again, the mama was just kind of overwhelmed by it all. So my experienced cat went over there. She climbed in the box with her. She didn't try to take the cats away, the kittens, but she jumped right in there and supported her and nursed some of those babies so that they got what they needed right away so that they would thrive. And it was just the most powerful, amazing thing for me to watch as this all unfolded. Now it's been a couple days, and my new mama is doing so much better. She understands when those babies need fed. She is doing a lot better at licking them and keeping them warm, and they are doing really well. And then it's so cute now because when the mama of the older litter runs off, to go chase a mouse for a few minutes and stretch her legs, go outside and go to the bathroom or whatever, then my new mama, if she hears the big kittens fussing, she'll run over and she plops down with them and she purrs and she gets them all settled in and she babysits for her. So they've gone back and forth between each other, and the support that they're offering each other has just been so touching to me. And I think there's a really important lesson there, that we as women, we really need that, and we really need to be that. I don't believe that we were meant to live in isolation. I believe that we were, even if we are off-grid and we're living in a tent and we're roughing it, I think we need our community. I think we need that support system, that network of other mamas that have been there, that have done it. And, when Esther was here, we talked about how important it is to have people that have walked the path that you want to walk so that you can, learn from them and they can pass down their knowledge to you. And, there's so many times I think back to my grandmothers, and while I didn't learn to can from them, and I wish that I could have had that opportunity, now that I am canning, there's so many things that come back to me, and I remember eating specific things, and I remember how she stored her jars and how she kept her food in the dark, cold place in the basement. And there's so much of that we learn from each other. And, just knowing that somebody has walked in the path that you're walking, so that you're not trying to trudge a new path and you're the only woman who's ever gone through this. Sometimes that's all it takes, is to know that, yes, that kid over there, this mother that you admire so dearly, also throws temper tantrums and also pees in his pants and, all those things that you go, oh my gosh, what is wrong with my kid? There's nothing wrong with your kid. Your kid is growing up, your kid is doing the things they need to do. There's nothing wrong with you as a parent, as a mother. You are what your kids need. And we as women need to know that. And we need to, it's amazing to me how important it is for us to nurture. It's in our nature. And of course, stronger with some than others. But not only do we need to nurture our own, we need to nurture the women around us. We need to reach out and support them and be that for other women. So I don't want to carry on for a long time. I want this to be a quick, easy story for you guys to latch onto. But it is so, so important. So I can't wait to hear from all of you on all of this, because you have been that for me. You've been that support and that community. And you've shown me how you have set up your homesteads. You've shown me how you set up your pig pens, and you've shown me how you do your chickens and how you can. And I am just forever grateful. And when you comment and tell me, I am in the same position as you. I'm struggling with fibromyalgia, and I also have boys that do things that are crazy, and all those things. you have been that for me, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. I just enjoy so much all the interaction and getting to know you guys. So keep going. Thank you for being my community. And we'll talk to you again soon.